Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. That was weird.
You pretty much just froze on the spot there, Jamie.
Looks like another glitch in the YouTube system.
Okay, well, while we try and figure out what the hell just happened, here's a PSA about 6 game-breaking glitches.
Guitar Hero was one of those gaming fads that by 2014 you thought had its day. Expensive peripherals, mediocre playlists, same gameplay entry after entry. Then of course in 2015, Guitar Hero Live came out and everything appeared to be forgotten.
They didn't learn their lesson.
They didn't learn their lesson. However, one thing that a lot of users cannot forget or forgive is the whammy bar patch of 2007's Guitar Hero 2.
Ooh, the best one.
Red Octane designed the fix in an effort to address issues about the sensitivity of the whammy bar on certain controllers following one too many jam sessions. However, when ardent rockers downloaded the patch, they found that their 360s would freeze up.
Jam session sounds fruity.
What?
That certainly didn't sit well with people of any gender, men or mama ladies.
That was fucking awful. Wow, that was like really bad.
Fuck's sakes.
And we're not talking for just Guitar Hero either. No, nothing would work on it. The dreaded red ring of death would appear and the console would effectively have to be either thrown out or sent to Microsoft for an expensive fix. Worst patch ever.
The opposite of a patch.
What is the opposite of a patch?
A hole.
Red Octane merely said at the time that they were looking into the problem, while some were saying that the software was fine and that the machines themselves were fundamentally flawed. Either way, a lot of people were not happy about the whole "I can't play anything anymore" aspect. Kind of understandable.
Yeah,
That's a
that's fair
shitty aspect of a game. So, breaking people's machines isn't particularly cool.
No.
Not that radical.
Radmobile.
It's money, and some people can't afford to blow a shit ton on a new console. But do you know what's worse?
What?
A demo disc that wipes hours and hours of gameplay from your memory cards.
A demo disc.
A demo disc from the memory cards. That's parts of your life you can't reclaim. You can't re-buy your saves.
No.
That surely is someone doing that on purpose.
Quite clearly, the time before cloud saves and everything.
Well, it's exactly what happened to those who played the Beautiful Joe 2 demo on the 2004 Christmas PlayStation Underground disc.
Man.
What a Christmas present. Santa's coming down the chimney
With
to
a demo.
fuck your memory card up. The game would play perfectly fine to begin with, however, if you tried to load a save file from a memory card, everything would be white. Some genius had apparently given the disc the ability to format any memory card plugged into one of the 2 ports on the PS2.
Well done.
Yeah, however, this only affected American gamers, not European or Asian markets, so hours of Final Fantasy X, GTA San Andreas, or Dynasty Warriors gameplay just wiped away.
Instant, just like that.
But you deserve it if you're playing Final Fantasy anyways.
Don't be like that. Final Fantasy's awesome.
Sony were forced to make a grovelling apology to the US market, offering them free games to replace the time lost, and while Beautiful Joe was eventually favourably received, the PS2 had entered its steep decline. Were you affected by this, and if so, how angry did it make you? Leave a comment below.
Were you as angry as the Angry Birds in Angry Birds?
Why do you have to bring up Angry Birds?
I don't know, it's the only thing I could think of as angry.
Were you as angry as my dad when he hit me?
You did cover that lady in marmalade.
God damn it, Jamie! Why are you covering this lady in marmalade? Well, if you wanted to... Well, Jamie, if you want to discuss gaming time lost, you have to bow down to the daddy of all time sinks, World of Warcraft. The MMORPG juggernaut has sucked in more players than... insert mum joke here.
I like that you said it. I think we should keep that in.
And are fiercely proud of their allegiances and character builds. So imagine how earth-shattering it must be to have your level 60 paladin in, highest plate armor brought low by a shitty glitch. That's right, I'm talking about the Corrupted Blood incident, which began when guilds battling a boss called Hakkar were subjected to a debuff called Corrupted Blood.
I'm out.
You're out. Jonesy, you follow me?
You lost me at
Debuffed.
Anyway, while high-level players could keep themselves alive till it passed, an oversight meant that pets and minions could carry the debuff out of the dungeon and into the wider world.
What the fuck are you
Of
talking
Warcraft.
about?
Sounds, is that,
Stay with me here, guys.
is it
Stay
like,
with me.
Is it like AIDS?
It's kind of like Zika AIDS. Yes, it is.
Zika AIDS.
Zika AIDS. Yeah.
So your own pet carried this out of the dungeon.
Yeah. So it's a thing that's meant to
Okay.
kill you, right? And then it goes on the pets, and then the pets.
You have to murder your own pet. Hit it with a brick.
Your dog
With a
get...
brick. The plague ravaged 3 servers, causing players to respond in a way that merited study from the Center for Disease Control in the US. Healers banded together to try and prevent death. Authority figures sprang up to try and marshal the people, and of course. And of course, some fucking assholes thought it would be really fun to kind of spread the disease even further and as fast as possible.
You always get those people.
There's always one, right? Or at least, in World of Warcraft, like all of them. Population centers quickly became ghost towns as players, fearful of catching the corrupted blood, avoided all others. And after several days, Blizzard was forced to issue a hard reset of the servers, but only after the bones of those who died littered the streets.
Gutted.
Pretty harsh. I mean, it is pretty shit though, right? Like, if you're investing a lot of time in a game, it doesn't matter what it is, it's just wiped out.
No, see, I think this is fair play because this is an MMORPG, right? So people go on there to like have a whole experience and trade and live and stuff.
Yeah,
and an important part of
that is a good point. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
things, horrific tragedies.
That's the thing. A disease that corrupts your blood, spreading around a population and killing people is extremely realistic.
Yes, Chris, that undoubtedly sucked for those who had invested time, but let's have a look at something a little funnier.
Yeah, I think we need it, right?
I need to
Let's
lighten
lighten
up.
the mood.
Yeah, less AIDS in this one, please.
Let's say unintentionally funny, of course, but let's face it, you only heard of Ride to Hell Retribution because of all the bugs.
Not true. I heard there's fantastic sex scenes.
No, you didn't, Chris.
I heard that if you want to see more of that sex scene, you ought to go and check out All Time Gaming's list of the 6
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Just word on the street.
I have heard that they have a video which, deals with this very issue. Here was a game that was rendered close to unplayable because of the legendary high number of game-breaking glitches. During the many motorbike sections, Jake will potentially crash into nothing at all and fail.
Potentially. All the fucking time.
His bike would pop in and out of textures, as would the textures themselves half the time. Then there's the no clipping, floors that will randomly disappear, vehicles that will randomly reappear, and characters that refuse to actually move or are catapulted up into the air to be walking on nothing. If this was meant to happen, it would be quite a cool game, but it wasn't.
Sounds like a trip.
This game, published by the same guys who did Dead Island and Saints Row, is only saved by the fact that the writing, acting, and animations are also equally bad, making this more of a comedy than a tragedy.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially those sex scenes, man.
Well, guys, when we get deep into an RTS game, we normally find ourselves sat at our computer indoors for huge amounts of hours.
Yeah.
Secluded in front of your machine.
Slightly
getting
secluded.
stuck in.
But every now and then, RTS fans need something that they can take with them out into the real world.
To escape into the light.
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
ride the bus and play an RTS at the same time.
Can it be done, Jamie?
It can be done.
Dream!
Well, it's not really the dream, but for anyone that did have that dream, the Nintendo DS was there for them, along with Age of Empires, Age of Kings. A great RTS game.
Great game, yeah.
A great game, full stop. The only problem, though, was that the cartridges were corrupted, to the point where simply by saving and exiting, the cartridge would become corrupted and fried.
That is what you get for trying to play an RTS outside in the real world.
Well, yes, but does anyone really deserve that, though?
Yeah, no one deserves that.
Especially like with a DS, right? Like, you've got kids saving up their money to buy DS games, and then this DS game comes along and just fucks
Chris,
everything up.
they don't deserve it, but this is what they got.
The game would freeze on a menu and could take hours before it unstuck itself. Often gamers would think nothing of it and decide to switch off the DS. This error corrupted everything, meaning it was impossible to play the game again. And if you're thinking this may have been a small glitch on a small number of games, think again. Some people bought multiple copies only for them all to be rendered useless. Developers Majesco looked into the problem and found the root cause was profile name shorter than 4 characters.
What?
Imagine that.
Get your shit together, Majesco.
Exactly. By that point, it was apparently too late and Majesco either couldn't or wouldn't fix it. Instead of fixing the bug, a small slip of paper was inserted into every box, warning players of the issue.
So hold on. So they admit to this error, and they're just like, yeah, fuck it, we're not going to spend any more money to try and fix this game-breaking error.
Hashtag fuck Majesco. Let's bring this back from the dead.
Alright, time for a few honorable mentions before our final entry, and these are the games that are glitched but not entirely game breakers. Assassin's Creed Unity was buggy on launch to a horrific degree. Arno would clip through the floor, textures would be all over the shop, and perhaps most famous of all, faces would completely and utterly disappear, leaving this kind of, I don't know, how would you describe it, like void.
It looked like in an old cartoon when someone took like a shotgun shell to the face, and
Yeah.
their face would blast back, but their eyes and lips would
still
stay
there.
there.
Yeah, oh man.
Speaking of faces, NBA 2K15 had one hell of a gimmick. Scan your face using the Kinect and have it magically affixed to a player.
Sounds good.
It's
Yeah.
you. It's in the game. Wow, only the Kinect cannot detect for shit and left your avatar appearing as if someone turned up the heat in a waxwork museum and you melted.
So we've heard some of the worst horror stories about glitches in games, from brick 360s to unplayable games. However, this one is arguably the most serious. Way back in 1998, a fresh-faced developer called Bungie, know those guys?
Heard of them?
Oh, maybe heard of it.
Maybe. Well, they released a sequel to a game called Myth, called imaginatively Myth 2.
Now, that is an imaginative name.
Yes.
That's the Bungie way. Always thinking outside
Numerically.
the box.
Well, it was well received, with 350,000 copies shifted on day one alone. Not too shabby. However, while the game was smooth, the uninstall process was anything but. The story was that the day of shipping, a woman working for their Japanese publisher had installed the game in the root directory of her hard drive and then went through the normal process of, uninstalling it.
Okay.
So, uninstalled, the game went, along with the rest of the contents of her entire hard drive.
Oh, I hope she didn't need anything that was on
That's
there.
pretty harsh. This happened because the uninstall deleted everything that was in the directory where the game was. Place the game in the applications directory and it deletes everything in that directory because it's read as game related. This could be devastating to anyone with important work saved, let alone a gamer. So instead of issuing a patch would have allowed for the release to go ahead, but potentially put thousands of hard drives at risk, Bungie recalled the game. It cost them $800,000 to fix, and every recalled copy had to be replaced by hand. Largely, as a result of this incident, uninstall programs now universally leave user-installed files stay put. That makes no fucking sense. Fuck, man!
Oh dear.
Largely as a result of this incident, uninstall programs now leave user-installed files.
Good.
Boom.
Good on Bungie for fixing that though. That didn't sound like an easy fix.
No, they committed pretty hard to it. They took the knock, not like fucking Majesco's like, oh,
Yeah,
well, fuck
not-
it.
So that was our list of 6 of the most notorious game-breaking glitches in history.
Although there are dozens more out there that all deserve some kind of mention. Did we miss your favorite? Leave a comment below, and of course, a like and subscribe always goes a long way.
Is Jamie back to normal now?
Jamie?
More or less. I mean, it's YouTube. What's the worst that could happen?